Hello and welcome to the Napoleon Bonaparte Show, where we will tell you everything that there is to know about the influential and actually not that short ruler. We will start off here where Napoleon was born in Ajaccio, Corsica in 1769. He then later moved to France to become an army officer where he was revolutionary and aggressive. For a quick story, we go to Narges Kazerounian in France for the story on why he moved to France.
Thank you, Katie. I'm here in Brennan, France, where Napoleon attended École Militaire at the age of 9 until 1784. As a young kid from Corsica, Napoleon spent 5 years in isolation and mockery because he spoke French carrying a heavy Corsican accent. During those years in isolation, he became an impassioned reader of history. However, despite all of the readings and study of history, he excelled in mathematics, which led him to a career in artillery. Hence, Napoleonic tactics and amazing strategist he became.
Thank you, Narges. Napoleon finally, after years of waiting and service in the military, was placed in control of the entire French army in 1796. As a leader of France, he abolished feudalism and promoted religious toleration, making him popular amongst the French people. He then began to show what he could do militarily by attacking Italy, Austria, and British trade ships in Egypt. But his attempts to conquer Austria and British trade ships failed, and when he returned to France, the economy was in the tanks and the country in need of the leader. Napoleon was then elected. For the scoops on this, we go to Zack Jayousi in Paris.
Thank you, Katie. After Napoleon was elected, he celebrated by having yet another war, known as the Battle of Trafalgar, a naval war against Britain, which he was utterly crushed. However, that did not stop Napoleon. He made an amazing comeback by beating both Russia and Austria at the Battle of Austerlitz. To celebrate this triumphant victory, he built the Arc of Triumph in Paris, which is still there today. But he didn't stop there. He continued to expand his French empire by appointing his brother Joseph as King of Spain. His big brother Louis, King of Holland, and his brother Jerome got his own piece of Prussia. However, other countries of Europe didn't like Napoleon, so they attacked him and defeated him. They captured Napoleon, and as he awaited his punishment, he tried to poison himself. However, the poison just made him barf and didn't kill him. Thank you. Back to you, Katie.
Thank you for that, Zack. But Napoleon's story doesn't end there. He was exiled to the tiny island of Elba and kicked off the throne. However, literally within 100 days, Napoleon escaped from the island of Elba and heads back to France, raises an army, and you guessed it, started another war. He struck back at England, facing the Duke of Wellington at the Battle of Waterloo, a battle in which he lost, and he once again was exiled, but this time sent to the island of St. Helena for the rest of his life. And that is where the story of Napoleon Bonaparte ends, but his strategies and tactics were carried on and used by other rulers.
After Napoleon escaped from exile and returned to power in March 1815, many states opposed him and began to form a giant army called the Seventh Coalition. This made Napoleon uneasy and forced him to weigh his options. Known for being a great strategist, he began to plot and form a blueprint of his own. After weighing his options, he devised a plan to attack the Duke of Wellington, as well as Blücher, who formed and mobilized 2 large armies close to the northeastern border of France. He chose to attack them before they could join in a coordinated invasion of France with other members of the coalition. However, the battle did not go according to plan. Napoleon had to delay the attack until 11 a.m. because the ground was too wet, which was not ideal for artillery, on which Napoleon relied heavily. Gun-fired cannonballs, which bounced through enemy formations, but on wet days, they would splat into the mud and not explode. Because of these conditions, and Napoleon's army being outmatched, the battle didn't last very long into the night, and Napoleon's last battle had come to an end.
Hello, and I'm here with Zack Jayousi. He's the historian of the Napoleonic era, and it's good to have you here today, Zack.
It's good to be here. Thank you for having me.
What was Napoleon's most interesting battle?
Napoleon's most interesting battle had to have happened when he attacked Russia because of the way Tsar Alexander, the ruler of Russia at the time, was defying him, and Napoleon basically went in there to prove a point.
How many soldiers went to war?
A little over 600,000 French soldiers went into battle at the time, and sadly, only 100,000 made it back. So the Russian strategy basically annihilated over 500,000 men. Well, Napoleon's army attacked Russia, and Napoleon, being arrogant and confident, thought really that the battle would only last about 3 weeks, so he only brought supplies for about 3 weeks, and the Russians knew this, so basically they started at the edge of Russia, and every time Napoleon's army attacked, they would retreat, and they would burn all the crops and villages and farms. So eventually the French ran out of supplies. So it lasted a while, because then the French had to deal with the winter, and basically all their men didn't die from battle. They died from harsh weather, starvation, and other diseases.
Oh, okay. So was Napoleon out-strategized by the Russian army?
In this case, this very rare case, he actually was out-strategized, because they took Napoleon's arrogance and they made it their strong suit. They attacked his arrogance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your time, Zach.
Thank you for having me here.
A+ Productions. Napoleon, Britain hit on me like I could build army. This is a gated community, please get the heck off this property. Times have changed because I'm at the top and no one on top of me. Countries want trees and trees, but that's not an option to me. Drowning in compliments, palace in my backyard that look like Metropolis. I think I've conquered 1 million the first week, man, I guess I'm just a strategist. Born in a J show, but sometimes I feel like France adopted us. Yeah, that's a life that I chose, yeah, Napoleon taking over the globe, yeah. Started a battle, but sometimes I feel like my ego got to us. Boy, Napoleon. This year I'm eating your cross and my table got so many plates on it. 100-inch painting at my house, I sit back like, dang, I look good on it. Screw all your feelings, cause war is war and strictly financial. I'm always the first one to get it, man, that's how you lead by example. I'm trying to conquer Britain, no one can stop me. Napoleon.
Thank you for watching our show. That is all for today. Be sure to tune in at the same time next week.